Alright, guys. I have some updated news on Ice Age 6. I didn't think I was going to be talking about this movie again. But here I am. I'm here to talk about this again. Well, actually, I was going to do a prediction for this movie, but I'm not gonna probably watch it. I mean, I might watch it in the theaters. Or streaming. I don't know. I'm not very happy what Disney has done with Blue Sky and all that. And honestly, Ice Age, I feel like it's kind of run its course. But I'll do some more update stuff on it eventually. I think I do want to do a video on that because I do want to do one on Shrek too. Which, by the way, both of the movies are supposed to come out I think the same year. So which is 2026. So if you guys haven't already though, before I continue any further, remember to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. You guys can watch my, if you guys don't like watching, pop culture stuff, you guys can also, watch reviews or game stuff. There's a reason why I have multiple things I do on my channel, for different audiences, But, but anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this because, I've already talked about this before and all that about there being an Ice Age 6. Heck, I think I've heard of them. They were talking about it being a thing back in 2022 when Buck Wild was already out. People were talking about that they already had this in development. It's now out there and all that. So, it's out there and a lot of people are talking about it now. So, I'm thinking probably what ended up happening was it kind of got quiet for a while because, Bob Chapek got ousted from the company and Bob Iger returned, which he probably shouldn't have returned because the guy is a freaking dictator in a way. He does not know how to run the company. Well, I mean, he's running it into the ground even further than it already was. I mean, Chapek didn't know what he was doing much either, but Iger's been with the company forever now, and he does not know what the hell he's doing, and all that. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't care. He's trying to make the company the face of him and not really, its own thing. He's turned the company into a monopoly. That's the whole reason why they have Fox, and probably why they're making another Ice Age movie, because they just can't fucking let this goddamn franchise die. Come on, Disney, just fucking you killed Blue Sky off. You killed off that company. Just let the fucking movie die. I mean, the franchise die in general. Just let it fucking die. If you want to make some shorts or something about it, that's fine, but we don't need a fucking 6th movie. We don't need one. They could go the whole Toy Story route, before they announced, Toy Story 4 and 5. They could just go that route and try to, make some mini movies and all that. That's what Ice Age did and all that. Instead of, or shorts or something, instead of having to make a whole fucking movie on this stuff. The movie could be good. It could be good, but I don't know if it's going to be very good or not. I don't even know what the movie's about. Really, nobody does. They announced it, but they don't have any details on the movie. All we know is it's going to come out in 2026 and all that, and I figured we would have some details on it or something, Ironically, there's actually a lot of sequels Disney's making that's coming out, I think, that year. They have a Frozen 3 supposed to come out. Well, actually, there's going to be a Frozen 4 too. I think there's a 5th one too. They announced they have 3 of them coming out. I actually have not seen Frozen 2. I've seen Frozen 1, and although I thought that movie was good, it wasn't one of my favorite Disney movies. But I have seen the first one, not the second one. I've been waiting to watch the second one because I want to do that, when I go through, and because I'm going to review all the Disney films. And speaking of Disney films, there is a mainline Disney film coming out with Moana 2, which I think that one might actually do very good because it's only the second film. It's only the second film and all that in the series. And actually, it was going to be a TV show, but then they made it into a movie. So, but I've seen trailers of it, and it looks better than Buckham. Well, it looks better than Buck Wild. Buck Wild was supposed to be, well, not just Buck Wild, but Megamind. I think Megamind 2 was supposed to be a TV show too, and they got turned into a movie. But it ends up looking like garbage and all that. But I've seen the trailers. They don't look as good as Moana 1, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen Moana 1 as well, but I remember that film looking much better, than the sequel. But of course, the sequel was turned into a sequel after the TV show and all that, which I don't know why they made it into a movie, but that seems to be a big thing that Disney's been doing. They've been turning a lot of their shows and all, well, movies into shows and shows into movies and all that. They don't know what the hell to do with these franchises. That's why I think them buying Fox out was a horrible idea. Now, I will say Deadpool and Wolverine, that was a very good movie that did very well, and so did Avatar too, but most of their stuff, they basically just bought Fox's leftovers, basically, said what they did. They basically went to a garage sale and bought the leftovers of, Fox, which was already ran into the ground, because Fox already ran Ice Age into the ground, and then the Disney's bright idea was to make a six movie, well, it was a spin-off movie of Buck, which wasn't very a spin-off. It felt more like a cheap-ass sequel to it more than a spin-off. And then they go around and are trying to make another one. I mean, they've been doing this shit nonstop. Heck, even they've had some movies, they had the Diary of the Wimpy Kid movies, like the CGI ones. I've heard those are kind of mixed. I don't think people hate them as bad as Home Alone 6 and all that, but they definitely don't seem to like them as much as the animated ones, and I don't care to really see them, honestly. But they're the same studio that produced Adventures of Buck Wild. So what I've heard is Disney Animation is going to produce this one, not 20th Century Studios. So unfortunately, I feel like 20th Century Studios, this one is going to have the Disney logo too, which that's a fucking big middle finger, to the people who grow up with that shit, this I'm just I don't know why they need to fucking do that, but yeah, a lot of the 20th Century Fox projects tend not to have the studio's logo, or if they do, they're usually the ones that are aimed for older audiences. But I'm just why at this point, even have Fox, at all if you're gonna do it like that, I don't know. It's just them buying Fox, like I said, it was a waste of money. They're clearly not gonna make their money back. And yeah, Deadpool Wolverine, yeah, that movie did very well. I think it probably cost a lot of money to make the movie too, but that movie was also in development. It was in development, It was in development back in 2020 was when it was in development. And then basically it took them until this year to actually release it. So that was one of those movies that was, in development and all that before Iger because Iger kind of left around when they first started working on the movie, and then he came back, and all that. So so they worked on that during the pandemic, but it takes a few years to make these movies, so that's what I'm thinking about this movie. It was probably were, they already announced it in 2021, or not 2021, 2022. They probably already announced it, but it took them a few years to actually make this making it, because these movies take a while to make. They gotta like get the voice actors, the scripts, and all that. And speaking of the voice actors, I have heard that it sounds like they're going to return. So that might actually help the film a little bit. Because that was one of the biggest problems with Adventures of Buck Wild. All the voice actors, except for Simon Pegg as Buck, all got recasted and all that, and they got recast and all that, and the voice actors who imitated them sounded horrible. They freaking sounded horrible. Well, some of them didn't sound too bad. Like Ellie didn't sound too bad, but the voice actor of Manny sounded off. Sid sounded off. Diego's sounded really off too. They all just sounded freaking not very great and all that. And I have a feeling this movie's probably going to. I don't know if it's going to be as bad. It kind of depends on what they do. If they go another route like they did with the last 4 movies, I feel like it's not going to work out too well. They need to do something like fresh with it. Like they probably need to bring back they need to bring back like the humans or something, but I don't know if they're going to or not. I don't know if they're going to bring back the humans. That would be a good thing to do, but even then, I don't know if that's going to be enough to actually. That's going to be enough to actually, save the movie or not. I don't know, because I don't know what to think about this movie. Of course, a lot of us also thought Inside Out 2 was going to be a bad movie, and it was a good movie and all that, but I don't know how to feel about this. Because, we have no story. We don't know exactly what they're doing with the story, and they're not going to reveal it. They're gonna. That's what's stupid about Disney. They do this shit all the time. They'll fucking announce something, and then they'll wait forever to actually give us details on it. Well, I guess to be fair, technically, I guess DreamWorks is doing that kind of with Shrek a little bit. But yeah, they're doing this with Shrek, I guess, too. They're not really giving us details on Shrek. But, I don't know. I guess technically they all kind of do this, but, Disney's got all these sequels and all that, planned, and just, and I'm just, again, I don't want to sound I don't want to, judge the film yet, because it's not even coming out, but I'm just, I just don't even know if I want to watch it either, because I'm very pissed off at what Disney did to Blue Sky. They fucking shredded it and screwed over a bunch of employees. And you can say, well, companies shut down studios all the time and all that. And yes, they do. My thing is, though, is they bought out Fox in 2019. And only 3 years later, they basically fucking shattered Blue Sky and killed it. And I know their films weren't always considered the highest in people's eyes, but that's still another studio. And that's the thing, though. Disney does this all the time. They shatter stuff all the time. Like I've said in the past, they shut down Touchstone Pictures. They shut that down. They shut down Hollywood Pictures and I guess was it Hollywood Pictures or Hollywood Studios? I can't remember which one it was. It had the Egyptian cat looking thing, on the logo. Well, they shut that down. They've shut down, their gaming studio and all that. They basically do this shit all the time. They'll acquire shit and then they'll shut it down because they don't know what to do with it, and they don't want anybody else to have it. I don't know. I don't know what to say there about that. I don't know. I don't know if this film's gonna be as good or not, but I do think we're gonna get the voice actors back, and I think it's gonna be produced under Disney Animation, not 20th Century Studios, which was the original studio that produced it, and they fucking own it, but they can't, I don't fucking get why they why they can't, do that. I don't know. I don't get it. It's just, well, I think they do it because they just want to, they want to put their name on everything because that's what Iger does. Since Iger pretty much, became the CEO, he pretty much was acquiring shit left and right. And yeah, the Disney company acquired stuff before that, but he started acquiring bigger things like Pixar and Marvel, Lucasfilm, and all that. And which, by the way, I do have a video plan for Lucasfilm too. On that, I do have a video plan for that. But like I said, though, I don't know what to think about this movie. I don't know. Like I said, there's no details on it. They do this crap all the time. They wait till around the 6 month mark and all that, to give us a big thing of details and all that. I guess they don't want people to know about the movie too much, but I figure when we get some screenshots or something like we did with Elemental or something to kind of show us what we're looking at. But I don't know. I really don't know what to say here. But the same year we get a Shrek 5, we get a Toy Story 5 and all that. We're gonna get a ton of movies, and a lot of them are sequels, and I don't know how well they're gonna do. I will say I think Toy Story 5, unlike Ice Age, I definitely think Toy Story 5, I don't think that one's gonna probably do as well as the fourth one did. I mean, people went out, watched it and kind of came out of the theaters and were very mixed on the movie. A lot of people, as I said before, hated the movie. Some people liked it. It was very, mixed. But the reason why it did very well is because people were probably watching the trailers and being like, look, Bo Peep is back. I was one of those people. I was one of them, if they're going to bring back Bo Peep, and I watched the movie, it ends up kind of just being a disaster. But of course, that was also in 2019 and all that, and they had a lot of disaster movies that year. But I don't know what to think about. I mean, they've had some pretty good hits this year. I will say that. I'm not gonna deny that they had some pretty good hits. But I mean, to be fair to Disney, has had some pretty good hits last year too. I mean, they had they probably didn't make as much money on it, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that movie actually did very well, and all that. And I think Wish didn't do well, but Wish would have done well if they actually didn't go back and fix it. Because I feel like that was kind of a Buck Wild thing. I feel like they changed it around the last minute. Because I heard there was a lot of production problems with the movie, they were having a lot of issues with the company and how they wanted to do things. So I don't know. I don't know how this movie's gonna be. I mean, I don't know if it's releasing on streaming or in the theaters. If it releases on streaming, this movie might actually not do very good. It might not. If it releases in the theaters, it might make some money. Although, because people like me are so pissed off over the fact that they, shut down Blue Sky Studios and are basically digging the grave and all that, it's kind of an insult to the company that made it, and they already made 5 of them, but I mean, if they do something different, like bring back the humans, and people might see it, but I don't know if it's going to do as well as, I think the first one and third Ice Age movie, they made a lot of money. But I will say, I think the first one, I mean, it's kind of a mixture between people with the first and third movie. I'll say the first one is definitely my favorite. It felt more like an actual Ice Age movie. I will say the third movie was probably the funniest, but I didn't really like the world as much because the dinosaurs and all that. I felt like that kind of fell out of place. But they did introduce a character I really liked, and that's how he got his own spin-off movie, which, by the way, like I said, it was an absolute dog shit. And it didn't even feel like The Lost World when you were watching the movie, because there were other people and other characters, in the Lost World. So it just felt like an a forced movie. Like they just threw a bunch of things at the wall and was trying to figure out what sticked and went from there. But I don't know. But like I said though, I don't want to judge this movie too much. I will say I think Toy Story 5. I don't think that movie's going to do as well. It might make some money back, but I don't know if it's going to do as well. The thing is, too, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I will say this, too. I have been seeing a lot of people posting, well, even Disney saying this, that a lot of their movies have been breaking a lot of money and have been the highest grossing movies of all time. Well, not just them, but like other studios too. So like Illumination and all that. And I'm gonna say this. I doubt a lot of these movies were probably the highest grossing movies ever. I think it only looks like that because they've come out, this year. A lot of them, compared to back when a lot of these films came out, people are making a lot more money on stuff, so. I don't feel like that's a fair comparison, because I think some say like movies like I don't know, like Inside Out 2 and all that, like all of the movie was really good, which I do want to do a review on that too in the future. The movie was actually a very good movie. I don't know if I would say if it's the best one or not. It's really hard to say because they fudge their numbers and all that over time. But I definitely know like some of the Illumination movies definitely did not make as much money as they say they do. I feel like they're just kind of again, they're just kind of, whatever, like I feel like, I don't hate Illumination like other people do, but I do know their movies are for me, they're kind of a bit hit or miss. I went and reviewed all of them. Well, at the time I did, they have made a couple more movies since then. Like, I've not seen, Despicable Me 4. I have not reviewed that one. But I have seen, I've seen The Minions, The Rise of Gru. I've seen that one and all that. I have not seen Scene 2. It's kind of one of those movies, like I said, that are, like, I feel like a lot of them are not, they don't hold up as well as others. But I feel like Hollywood's kind of been doing this crap forever, too. So I don't really know. It's hard to tell. But I will say that their movies, like Disney movies this year, have been doing a lot better. But I don't know if they'll be able to keep up the pace or not. That's the problem. These were also sequels of movies that people already liked. Have you noticed that, too? If you think about it, a lot of the movies that actually did really well this year from Disney's side were sequels. I don't think all of them were. I don't remember what all kind of came out, but I do know like they have Deadpool Wolverine. That movie did very well, and a lot of people talk about it and like it. And then there was also, there was movies like like I mentioned, Inside Out 2. Which did very well, and I have a feeling Moana 2 might do well too. And I think they also made a movie called Planet of the Apes. Well, a sequel to that, because that's also a 20th Century Fox / Studios movie. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they'll keep this trend up or not. Because it sounds like next year. I don't know. The movies don't. It doesn't sound like we're gonna get a lot of movies next year. Like a lot of ones that sound as amazing as this year. Deadpool, honestly, Deadpool, I wasn't sure what to think about, because because Ryan Reynolds, he does a very good job, writing and playing the actor. And I have a feeling if he wasn't in the movie, it probably would have been a dumpster fire. But because he made the movies and played the character, it did really well. I will say though, I did have a problem with them not allowing Deadpool to say certain shit. I'm like, it's an adult movie. And they can't say certain shit. Because it's fucking Disney. But let's be fair here. They all kind of do a lot of things are doing this. I've seen some websites and all that. like they won't like use certain words and all that. I've been on, I posted some stuff and they won't let you curse, but like, well, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. I mean, to be fair though, I guess people could reading comments, but like with movies like Deadpool and all that, people are not going to be watching the stuff, so I don't know what to say there. But yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it's gonna be like, because like I said, it feels like we're kind of, a lot of the sequels are doing well with Disney, but the original stuff's still not doing very well. And next year they do have some movies, but what I'm worried about is they're not going to advertise them as well. There's actually a movie called Elio, I think is how you pronounce it. A lot of people are saying it looks boring. It kind of does, but I'm like, I was gonna try to go watch it, but it got pushed back, and Inside Out 2 came out this year instead, and that kind of pissed me off. They already had the trailer on. They can't use the writer strike on that crap because it already had its trailer out and everything. I know, because I went to the theater and saw the trailer. They had the trailer out and everything, and they got pushed back. So, but I don't know. I don't know what to say here. That movie looks like it could end up being good or all right. Some of the movies, though, I have a feeling like Lilo and Stitch and all that, I don't know, those movies don't seem like they will probably do as well and all that. And like I said, Toy Story 5, I don't think that's going to do well, but that's not coming out until 2026. I actually don't know all the movies that are supposed to come out next year with like DreamWorks, Paramount, and all that. Paramount's still working out, the whole Skydance thing and all that, which I'm hoping will straighten out Paramount, because I want Paramount to make some good movies. And Paramount, I've noticed, has been kind of walking it back. I think they've been walking it back with Paramount. Paramount's been walking it back. They've actually been focusing more on trying to produce original stuff. Like if you go on Paramount Plus, it may be a little hard to kind of tell because Paramount Plus has only been around for a couple years. But I noticed when I first started watching it, I watched a lot of Nickelodeon. So I watched Nickelodeon stuff, and I noticed it would show a lot more SpongeBob in the Loud House. But now it's showing more stuff. They're actually focusing more on other stuff. A lot of stuff is projects that they're bringing back and all that, which I feel like some of them probably don't need to be brought back. But they even have a show called The Really Loud House, and I'm just like, do we really need that? I mean, we already have the cartoon, The Loud House, that's still airing, But there's also the movie If. That one, the movie If actually, kind of did pretty good there and all that. Actually, I don't know if the movie itself did well. I don't know, it in Transformers 1 did very bad. I think I've heard If was an alright movie, and then Transformers 1, I heard a lot of people saying that the trailer sucked, but the movie itself was actually really good. And all that, and the Wild Robot was the same way. The Wild Robot wasn't advertised very well either, so it seems like we could have our hope maybe we'll get some good original movies and have Hollywood stop making all these freaking pointless sequels, But I do think some of this stuff, they are course correcting some of this stuff. With Disney though, I don't know if they're completely course correcting, because they're still doing a lot of stuff. But I have heard with Inside Out 2, they've actually changed the movie because they were having problems with that. But that just makes me kind of wonder, if they had to change that, how long would that taken, Bob Iger's been back for a few years, and like I said, I hate the guy, and kind of freaking wish he would just leave the damn company, because there's a lot of shit he's done that has ruined the company. But I don't know if that was on Chapek's side, or because Chapek was saying the same thing. He was he was talking about how like, they need to go back to basics and not as much woke. So I don't know. That could be why we could have got all these good movies too. Because like I said, they take a few years to make, but I don't know. But like Inside Out 2, is a movie that like they had to go back and fix too. But Inside Out 2, they had to kind of like I said, they had to go take back some of the stuff, but they only had to change like a few scenes, so I don't know, like I said, I don't want to get too much into detail about this, but I mean, I'm glad they had a good year with some movies, but I don't know if this is going to continue or not. I have a feeling we might end up going back down here, because I mean, it could have been part of the Chapek era too, because like I said, a lot of these movies take a couple years to make and all that, and that's why these movies are kind of good. And because I've heard stories, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I've heard stories around Chapek, not from the company itself, but outside, like people talking about how Chapek wasn't really allowed to do anything. Every time he tried to do something, they wouldn't let him. He didn't have control. And that's what people were saying with Iger. Like, Iger was always there. I don't know if that's entirely true, but it wouldn't surprise me, because Iger is a very stubborn guy who clearly, has too much power over things, But I don't know. I've been kind of talking more about this than the Ice Age movies, but I don't really have much else to say about that stuff. I'm just kind of going over kind of their year in general, because I want to just talk about their year in general and kind of, talk about what, kind of what their movies have been like, in the other studios. And the other studios, honestly, their movies have not been doing as well as Disney's, but they've also been, I've been hearing are really good too. So I don't know what to say here about this, but I don't know. Well, we got an Ice Age 6 coming, or 7, because if you look up on Google, it tries to say it's Buck Wild, but that's a spin-off movie. That's not a 6 movie. But I guess they're trying to make it. I guess even Google thinks, even they think this will be the 7th movie. I don't know. It's very confusing, but I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and let things go from here. This video ended up being a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but like I said, I wanted to kind of get my opinion out on all this and where it's going. And like I said, I don't really know exactly what's going to happen, but I just have a feeling some of the movies that are coming up are not going to do very well. I think this is a very big year, but of course this was a sequel year, and well, so will 2026. But that year, a lot of these movies are going to be like this is going to be the too many movie point where I feel like people are just going to get burnt out on this stuff. Because you got to remember with Moana and Moana, Zootopia too. Well, Zootopia, because Zootopia is gonna get a sequel too. I don't remember when that's supposed to come out, but those movies, and then you have like movies like we have Moana, that, and then Inside Out, having its sequel. There was only one other movie, While movies even like The Incredibles, which is also supposed to get a sequel, I think Cars, I heard, is supposed to as well. They're basically just going to make freaking more of those. And I mean, Cars, they make a 4th one, and that one's probably going to be a dumpster fire, because, and I don't mean the movie itself, but I mean the movie's probably not going to do well at all, because people didn't care for the Cars movies as it is, and then when they made the 3rd one, people were just freaking just fed up with it at that point. So, But that's the thing, though. With them making more sequels and all that, like with movies, like we already have 5 or 5.5. We're gonna pretend Buck Wild doesn't exist. Ice Age movies, and then we have 4 Toy Story movies and another one, which Toy Story already tried to wrap up things. They wrapped up things like once, maybe twice. I would say only once, because Toy Story like 3, I don't feel like that. I don't know if I would say that was an actual conclusion. I think I said that in the past, but I look back at it and I think it was more just, including Andy's side of the story. But then, they had Woody, and a lot of people are saying, well, they included Woody's side of the story too, but they did a shitty job with it, and honestly, I don't like what they did with how they handled with Woody's character and the people around him. So, and I think what they're trying to do is trying to go back to that, but I'm worried it's going to be, I'm worried this movie is going to be probably a dumpster fire, because they're going to try to go with the Rise of Skywalker route from Star Wars and try to fix everything, but they're going to make everything worse, because they're going to make fans unhappy on one side and on the other. Because some fans like myself, honestly, I hate to say this, but I would have liked Woody to just be, I want Woody to just be gone. I feel like Woody seems like happier, and I know they have this whole quote with Buzz and him at the beginning, but I'm like, I feel like the whole thing with toys always need to be played with. I don't feel like I feel like it works otherwise with that, but they're going to try to bring him back and all that, and I don't know what to say here, but actually they even have they do have a screenshot with that, though. They actually, unlike the other movies, they do have a plot for that, and it's going to focus on technology, so again, why can't they have, updated information for their other movies too? I don't know. But for real, this time I need to go ahead and let things go from here. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just overwhelmed with all these stupid sequels and all that. But I'm gonna go ahead and let things go from here. So I'll see you guys all later. Bye-bye.